Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Friday, the 19th of May, 2023. A good variety streaming day. Let's recap what happened. First of all, on the Level 1 podcast today, it was a much more relaxed day where there wasn't a ton of news, no Phil's Day Off segments. Instead, it was more just kind of chilling. And we did. We chilled. We had a lot of fun conversation. It was a good one. I actually really enjoyed today's today's podcast, first portion of my first stream. That's the cool thing about the show. Is some days we might be very busy with a bunch of very important things to cover, and other days, not so much. Let's just chill and have some fun Q&A and open discussion. One thing was determined on today's podcast that's pretty important. This month was supposed to be Ask the King. That's my bi-monthly Q&A show. It would have actually been this coming week. Traditionally, I do it the final Thursday of the month. However, after speaking with my audience, we've determined we should not do it. That it should be held off at the very least until next month. And we'll see exactly when we want to do it, because right now the whole point of what I'm focusing on for the rest of May is making progress in the games I'm playing, trying to wrap up the ones that I can in the best amount of efficient time, basically to make time so that we can play the new games in June. Because right now, here's the situation: Star Wars Jedi Survivor, halfway in, maybe, arguably. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, not even close to halfway in, maybe 20% in, maybe 25, okay? Oblivion, at the very end. Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, probably about 66% in, heading into the final third of the game. With that being said, it sounds like we can probably make a push by the end of the month if I focus just on the games I'm playing to finish up, at the very least, the late night stream games, and maybe get really far perhaps in, say, Jedi, and maybe even get to the end of that, all right? But that's if I focus on what I'm doing. If I'm taking all of these streams away from my major focus, I'm never going to finish anything. And because this year I'm doing more variety, I'm doing the React show at least once a week. I'm doing a big event once a month. These things are taking away from my gameplay streams and holding me back from making sufficient progress. In case in point, this weekend, we've got React show, DSP versus the Internet tomorrow, and we've got the Street Fighter Marathon on Sunday. So how exactly am I going to take another stream off this week from doing gameplay in order to do Ask the King? Plus, I've been talking with my audience, and they're like, yeah, Ask the King definitely is the thing that can be delayed. It's not, necessary. You talk with us every day, so that's fine. So people seem to be in agreement. We're going to delay Ask the King. It's not going to take place in May. The earliest it'll be is probably mid to late June, but we'll talk about exactly when we want to do it, because the thing is, there's going to be tons of games in June as well that we're going to be covering, plus all these game news events, like, big Sony events, big Microsoft events, all these game events, news and everything, we're going to want to be talking about. I don't think the Ask the King is going to really be a good time to be doing it, So, no Ask the King this month, all right? But lots of progress in games, so let's talk about that. Today's first stream was Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Great stream. I did the entirety of the Wind Dungeon. It's fun. It's interesting. It's nicely designed. I liked the puzzles. I liked the exploration of it. The boss was neat. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. For the final hour of the stream, I went back to open world exploration. People suggested maybe I go back to the depths, because in the depths there's a second quest that you need to do to get some cool new stuff for the game. So I did it and unlocked a whole new ability. I was like, oh, this is cool. So Zelda, thumbs up. Great progress today. Great fun. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. Good progress. And can't wait for the next stream. Tonight on the late stream was Oblivion. Now, last time around when we played Oblivion, we beat the Shivering Isles DLC. So now we're in the end game of the main story, meaning a few hours we're done with this game, okay? Now, here's the thing. As I was playing Oblivion, it was made abundantly clear to me by my viewers that I should not do the main story, that I should actually focus on all the other content of the game. The guilds and side content is where it's at in Oblivion. The main story essentially is kind of the worst part of the game. And if you rush through the main story and get to like the end, you're going to feel like the game is kind of not that entertaining because you didn't do the entertaining stuff. So when I played this game, I did a little bit of the story at the beginning, then I did a lot of side content, then I did a little bit more of the story, then I did a lot of side content, and then basically I did a ton of guilds and everything else. And then I went back to the story, and then people were like, okay, you're kind of nearing the end, so maybe now you should do Shivering Isles. So I did. So the way I see it is, we've essentially tried to avoid the story as much as humanly possible for an extended period of time, but there's nothing really left meaningful to do in the game but the story. So what did we do tonight? First thing, the game says, oh, you need to kill these 2 spies in Bruma. Okay, where are they? Well, you read a document that said the spies were plotting around Cloud Link Shrine. Okay, so I'm at Cloud Link. I'm looking all around. There's nobody there. I don't know where these people are. All right, I go to Bruma. There's no one in there. I ask the guards. Oh, we've seen nothing. We don't know anything. Okay, so I asked the audience, and of course the viewer's like, yeah, this is stupid. The way the quest works is you have to randomly run into them. Sometimes they're standing at a rune outside of Cloud Link Shrine, and sometimes they're actually inside of the house of one of the assassins, but you already investigated the house and found all the documents, but you need to be in there at a certain time of day, and then the assassins are in there. The game doesn't tell you that. You're just supposed to magically know it. So I went to the house at the time of day, and there was the other assassin I hadn't killed yet was in there. I killed him. Okay, you beat the quest. And I got a big achievement, like 50 gamer points for that. So now I'm basically told, here's what's left. You need to amass all the forces throughout the world. You need to go to every major town and basically get them to sign on for the final battle. Okay? So I go to Anvil. And the ruler of Anvil says, you know, you did a lot for us in the game so far. However, an Oblivion gate just opened outside. So please go outside and do this Oblivion gate. And once it's closed, then we'll help you. Cool. So I go out and I'm like, it's going to be like all the other Oblivion gates, right? Right? Haha. Wrong. Because these are the endgame Oblivion gates. They're completely unique and different. This gate you go in, there's no tower at all. And I'm walking through the whole map. There's no tower. I'm like, what do? There's these hidden caves. You can't even see the doors. They blend in with the wall. But if you look at the map when you're walking through the world, they show up on the map. So I'm like, oh. So I have to go into this cave system and run and juke and jive, you know, through all of these freaking caves and everything. And then finally I get to the tower. It's one of the longest ones. I'm like, wow, what a grind, what a slog. That kind of sucked. And then Anvil joined me. All right? There was another one I had to do where there's an NPC. Basically what you have to do is show to the NPCs that you want to defend them in Bruma. And the NPC has to stay alive with you and get to the end. That's never happened before. Usually when you go to an Oblivion gate, you can just run right to the end and that's the end of it. This one, no. You have to actually have the NPC alive, so you have to kill all the enemies along the way. Again, an amazing grind. You resource hog. You have to keep chugging potions and everything. Really, really annoying. Not very well done. So I get that one done. Now it says, oh, now you got to go to Coral. So I go to Coral. Oh, here's another Oblivion gate. Okay. I go in. This one, there's one central tower and a bunch of towers around it. And a bunch of gates that are all locked. So you have to go all the way around this map to the back of one of the towers, go inside, climb up, open the gate. Go to the central tower via a bridge, go to another door, go to another tower, open the gate. Go to another tower, open the gate. You have to open all the gates everywhere. Then once all the gates are open, then you have to go back to the central tower, find a way up, and then you can go to the top of the tower. It's like a huge undertaking, and it's confusing. It's like a labyrinth. And it's nothing like the other ones. The other ones mostly were straightforward. You could figure it out. This one is just, these are just like the most annoying in the game. So I'm losing it. I'm actually getting frustrated. I'm like, wait a minute. The whole game of Oblivion was good. Except people were right. This main story is actually bad. It's badly made. It's not fun. It's just a crazy, annoying grind. Very similar to how the Shivering Isles DLC was. And now I start to realize something. I'm like, yeah, so here's what happened. When they made Oblivion, you could tell, once again, it's one of these dev team issues. Some of the dev team was assigned the guilds. Some of the dev team was assigned the main missions, right? Same thing with Shivering Isles. Some Shivering Isles side missions, and then Shivering Isles main story. The main story of both things are terrible. It's just repetitive grind. Kill, 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 fetch quest. Kill, 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 fetch quest. Or run through an Oblivion tower. Hit the fucking sigil stone. It's crap. It's crap. The real meat of the good story and experience of these games was the side stuff. But I've done all the side stuff. And that's what kind of sucks is now I know whatever I've left in Oblivion actually isn't good. It's kind of crappy. So tonight's stream, I mean, I'm happy I made progress. I got a big achievement, and now we're in the end game for sure. I'd say 1 to 2 more night streams of doing these final Oblivion gates, this big final battle thing we need to do, and then the end. But I don't think it's going to be fun. I actually feel like this last content in the game is some of the worst in the game because it's just unnecessarily padded. Instead of allowing you to get to something unique and interesting, it's more of the same crap, only really annoying, high-level, boring crap, rather than anything meaningful. And that's not good. They kind of wish that they were culminating to some kind of a cool story conclusion. Instead, it's just do a bunch of Oblivion gates. shitty, you know? So anyway, the good news is we made progress. The bad news is I'm not having fun, and it looks like the end of the game might not be entertaining. The best parts of this playthrough probably are behind us. And that sucks, but at least we're at the end, okay? By the way, yes, today the streak continued. I was not expecting it to continue, but once again, yes, Jinx was very, very supportive with, big tips. We also had a bunch of gifted memberships from Jinx and Only Ice Coffee and others as well. And tips also came in from people other than Jinx, too. Again, another day we hit all the support goals. That's 16 straight streams that we hit the support goals. That's crazy good, obviously. All right? Now, tomorrow will be interesting because tomorrow's React Day. Tomorrow we're going to have the Level 1 podcast. Then we're going to swing over to DSP Reacts for DSP versus the Internet. And then we're going to swing back to DSPGaming for Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. Will that streak continue when we're jumping channels? Last week it did, but I don't know about this week. We'll see. All right? But anyway, guys, it was a great streaming day regardless. Good progress. I want to keep focusing on the games I'm playing, which means no Ask the King. I think it's the good choice to make to not do it this month. Thank you for chilling, supporting. Sorry for the rage in Oblivion tonight, but man, that Endgame stuff is pretty bad. And tomorrow, a fun React stream and some Final Fantasy. All right, guys, keep in mind, Street Fighter event Sunday. Very excited for this. All right? Guys, thank you so very much. Please have a good evening. I hope to see you in the morning for the podcast and for DSP versus the Internet on DSP Reacts. Have a good night. See you then.